A few months ago, before this whole pandemic was even going on, I actually had the opportunity to go to Turkey, Istanbul. So I stayed there for 4 months and I had the best time. I studied at Koç University, so in today's video, I am going to tell you guys all about that. Hello everyone and welcome back. It's Sarelly here, and in today's video I am going to tell you all about my exchange story. Before I went to Turkey, I tried to look up information and there was so much information that I couldn't find. A little while ago I uploaded this video and I told you guys that I had moved to Turkey, but I didn't give you a lot of details, and I actually had several people contacting me on Instagram asking me how it was, whether the university was far from the city center, whether you should learn Turkish, and what I thought of my room. So I thought in this video I'm going to tell you guys all about that. If this is something you're interested in, then please keep on watching. Here is a video of what my room looked like. You can see that it isn't too big, but it also isn't small, and I had one roommate, but you can also choose to stay in a room with 2 roommates. You also have the option to choose for 3 roommates. So for me, having only 1 roommate was perfect, and what made it more perfect was that she was almost always gone. In my room there were 2 beds, and there was also a closet with lots of storage room, so as you can see there is enough space to leave your clothes. One thing that I remember is that the closet doesn't have any hangers, so everyone would go to the store and get hangers. So if you can bring some from home, I would advise that, but otherwise you can just buy some in a store for like 2 euros. How much was that in liras? I think it costed around 20 liras, so it really isn't that expensive, and you get like 6 hangers. And dormitory management really tries to mix the exchange students with the Turkish students, so you'll probably end up being in a room with a Turkish student, and those usually go home to their families on the weekend. So on weekends you'll probably have the room to yourself, and I don't know, that's just something I really liked. You're not allowed to cook in a room. There's actually a separate kitchen in another building. You're also not allowed to have a toaster in your room, but you can have a kettle, so you can make tea if you want. You're also not allowed to have any alcohol in your room. If they find out, they will actually punish you. You get points for every rule you violate. It's on the first page of the contract that you'll receive, and you're allowed to have 5 points before they consider kicking you out, so please be careful with that. Alcohol is 4 points, and smoking is also 4 points. You're also not allowed to have visitors past 11 p.m. and I thought that meant that you weren't allowed to have visitors that didn't stay in the dormitory, but it actually also means you were not allowed to have visitors from other rooms. There were 6 buildings, and each building is actually only for 1 gender, so you'll be in a building only for females or for males. I was actually in building A2, which was amazing because the cafeteria was downstairs, so I could just take the stairs and I'd already be in the cafeteria. And you can reach each building by going outside of your own building and just walking towards another building, or you can go through the garage, which is amazing on rainy days because it means you won't get wet. If you're a graduate, they will probably put you in a room that also has a balcony, and you have an amazing view from that room because you can see all of the other buildings and the courtyard. It is really beautiful, especially at night. One thing that I remember is that the exchange students actually arrived to the dormitory first, so I was in my room first and I was just waiting for my roommate to arrive because I arrived on the weekend and she would probably arrive on Monday, so I was just waiting for her to arrive as well. But I remember that this one girl had just taken a shower and she was in her towel. She walked towards her room, and once she opened the door she saw that her roommate had arrived and that her parents were also in the room. So her roommate's father was also in the room, and she was just there in a room with a strange man and only had a towel around her, so that was really awkward. She said she had to shake their hands with a towel covering her body. So be prepared for that and know that your roommate can arrive at any time. There were also people that took their clothes with them in the shower because there is room to hang up your clothes, and they would just get dressed in the shower, so they would avoid anything like that. One thing you might also have questions about are the showers and the toilet, so I'll tell you a little bit bit about that. I literally only had to take one big step out of my room and I'd already have the showers on the left side of my hand, so it was really close to my room. So you have like 8 rooms that share the same shower and bathroom area. There's 2 showers on one side and there's 2 showers on the other side. Those are separated by a wall, so you'll have 2 showers that are available for like 4 rooms. So you do have to share the shower with a lot of people, but I didn't really find this a problem since people start at different times. For example, some people start at 8:30 and other people start at 10, so it really wasn't a problem for me personally. And then there's also 4 toilets that you have to share between the same people, and I only had to take an elevator and press -1 and I would be in the cafeteria. But on -2 there was actually a laundry room, and this is what the laundry room looked like. As you can see, you could iron your clothes if you want to, and if I'm being completely honest, I really didn't like the irons they had there because some of them actually ruined your clothes and left marks on my clothes, so I wasn't a big fan of the iron, and I would actually try to not iron my clothes too often because, like I said, they actually ruin your clothes. I wasn't the only one who thought so. There were actually lots of people who said the same thing, so be careful. There were also 6 washing machines, so that sounds like a lot of washing machines, but I cannot tell you how many times all of the washing machines were occupied, so that's really annoying, especially during normal weekdays because that's when most of the students are there. Usually on the weekends people go to their parents and they just do their laundry over there, but if you're planning on doing your laundry on a Monday, be early because it really can be full. There's actually no keys for the rooms. I mean, there's cards. Forgetting your card in your room is the most annoying thing ever because some people actually just came out of the shower and they forgot their card inside, so they have to go to building A5 in their towels, and obviously as a girl that's a lot more embarrassing, so be careful and don't forget your card in your room when you're taking a shower because it actually did happen a lot. You have to go to building A5 -1 and you have to ask for a new card and they will write down your name. They will expect you to bring back the card within 10 days, I believe, and if you don't do that, you'll get a fee of about 100 liras, so please don't forget to do that. And then you also pay for every additional day that you don't bring them the card. My roommate actually ended up having to pay 160 liras just for forgetting to bring them her card. If you feel like having a late night snack, you can always go to the cafeteria. It is open until 2 a.m, so you can buy snacks if you want, but you can also go to any nearby store. There was this one place called Naz that was actually open until 4 a.m, so you could have different kinds of food, like how the Turkish people call it tatlı, which is dessert, or you could have normal meals like chicken meals, whatever, fries, until 4 a.m, so that's great. The university itself was honestly so gorgeous, and to get from the dorms to the university you usually take a shuttle, and it only takes about 7 minutes to get from the dormitory to the university. Here's an example of one of the shuttle schemes. As you can see, sometimes it takes 15 minutes for the next shuttle to arrive, and sometimes it can take 30 minutes. It really depends on what time it is in the day. They honestly do check every single day if the students on the shuttle are university students, so don't forget your card. But if you do forget your card, you only have to tell them your Koç University ID number and then you're good. Something to keep in mind is that the university itself is really far away from the city center because it's actually about a 45-minute travel away. That's why some students decided to already live in the city center or close to the city center so that they could be in the city center more often. But I personally really liked being around the university itself because it was just easier because there was less travel time to the university, and I feel like that really helped in actually going to the classes that I was enrolled in. But the people that did decide to live in the city center or close to it also made sure that they had all of their classes on 2 or 3 days in a week, so they wouldn't have to go to university every single single day. So that's something you can think about. The university does really look impressive. There's many places that you can go to eat. There's many buildings that you can have classes in. Some even have amazing views because the university is actually built in a forest. So you can see the forest from those windows and it looks so beautiful. And you can also see the ocean from some points. There's this one big tower that you can actually study at if you want to, and you can really see the whole university, so that is really gorgeous. The only thing about that tower is that it's really hot inside, and how many people you have in a classroom really depends on what class you go to, because I was in classes that only had like 5 other students, but I was also in classes that had 50 students, so it really depends on what class you go to and what classes you pick. Which does bring me to one problem, one thing that I really disliked about the university, because when picking my courses I also had to ask permission from my home university, and when they did give me permission I actually had trouble getting into those courses at Koç University, because for some reason if you're an exchange student they will put you on the waiting list, so they will actually prefer their own Turkish students to get into class first. So I did actually end up having to choose courses like history, which is not at all my major because I study biomedical sciences. Within the university there's many things to do. Like I said, you can eat there, you can actually ice skate, and you can also do different types of sports. You can do basketball. There's this wall that you can actually climb on. There's also a soccer field. You can play tennis, all sort of things, so that's really cool. You can even play golf there. So they really do have a wide variety of foods that you can choose from, and it really depends on yourself what you want to eat that day. So you can have days on which you'll eat burgers and fries, or you can have healthy meals and eat other things. There's foods like kumpir, which is a potato filled with all sort of things. There's also amazing pastas. There's this one pasta place that you have to try. My friends and I ate at Modo's so many times. I really highly recommend that place. It's amazing. But you can also go to more expensive places like Big Chef's or Nusret's, aka Salt Bae. And I could honestly make an entire video on the desserts. I believe I had at least one dessert every single night, which is really bad. Some of you might be wondering, should you learn Turkish? And my answer would be yes, you really do need to learn some crucial words because they just don't speak English. So if you go to a supermarket, you really need to be able to express yourself in Turkish. You need to learn words like merhaba, which means hello, or teşekkürler, thank you. The very first word that everyone learns in Turkey is tamam, which means okay. So many people will say tamam, like okay. Another useful expression is memnun oldum, which means nice to meet you. And then you can respond with ben de memnun oldum, which means it's nice to meet you too. The organization was actually so good because in the introduction week we learned these basic phrases, and you also have the option to enroll in a course called Turkish 101, so you'll learn more Turkish words. And it was really great because that class was full of 30 people that were all exchange students, so it was really cool because you are in a class with people from Spain, from America, from France, from Canada, so it's really diverse and really cool. There's also many places to shop. You can literally find every basic European store there, like Zara, H&M, Bershka. Something I would advise you is to just rent a car one day and gather a few friends, go to a random city with 4 friends or 3 friends, whatever you want. I honestly think you're gonna have an amazing day because that's what I did one day, and I can honestly say that it was one of the best days I've had there. It costs around 15 euros per person if you share it with 3 people, so I do think it's affordable for like one amazing day. And that day I also went ziplining on the fastest zipline in Turkey, and yes, I'm really proud of that.
2, 1.
And that's just really cool about exchange. I feel like the best experience are honestly the unexpected ones, the ones that you do not see coming, and you'll have a lot of those moments if you go on exchange. It's not as if you only experience that if you go to Turkey, it's honestly wherever you'll go to. Something else you need to know is that Turkish breakfast is like a proper thing in Turkey. It's kind of a big thing, and when you go to a restaurant or a cafe or something, you will often find Turkish breakfast on the menu, and you can very often find breakfast breakfast that you can share with multiple people, and I would highly recommend you to do that. I did that so many times. I remember going to different breakfast places with the same group of people, and that was honestly so much fun. You'll probably also be drinking a lot of chai, which is Turkish tea. In my opinion, it does taste really bitter. Another thing you should know is that there's a lot of animals in Turkey, and the government actually takes care of those animals because they don't kill the stray dogs, but they actually give them flu shots to keep them healthy. And sometimes you will even find them in restaurants because on some days it can really be extremely cold, so the animals can also suffer from that, and sometimes restaurant owners will allow them in a store, which can be weird at first. I feel like that's something you should know. And there was also this one cat lady that had like 4 cats in the dormitory room, so apparently you can also have animals if you want to. I remember opening my door once and there was a cat standing in the hallway, and I was like, what the heck? The university will also make sure that there's people organizing trips, like a trip to Cappadocia or other cities. I feel like you should really go on those trips because that's honestly where people bond and where they get to know each other the most. So don't miss out on those trips. Those were really a lot of fun. There's also so many beautiful mosques in Turkey. I would highly recommend you to go to different mosques. Within the exchange group, there were also a lot of Muslims, and some decided to go on Muslim days and basically just go to mosques together. That is something especially the guys did, so they would all gather and they would go to Jumu'ah prayer together, which is on Friday. One thing that I love about Turkey is that if you want to pray, you can just find a mosque easily, but sometimes you'll have trouble finding a mosque that allows women to pray because sometimes there is no prayer area for women, but often you only have to walk for like 5 more minutes and you'll find another mosque that does have a space for women. You also see that most women on the streets are dressed according to Western standards, so you'll also see women dressed in miniskirts, but at the same time you also see a lot of women that are completely covered. So how you want to dress really depends on how you personally want to dress. I still remember the day that I went on a plane to go to Turkey and to basically leave all of my family in the Netherlands. And I was so scared because I literally didn't know what to expect. I was just gonna go on a plane and fly to a country that I had never been to and that I was gonna stay in for 4 months. So that was really, really scary because I literally didn't know what to expect. But when I was in the plane, I saw the landscape and yeah, I just immediately thought it looked so beautiful. There's a picture of the landscape and they had these really cool buildings, and my first impression was that it was really modern. I was really lucky because one of my classmates from the Netherlands was actually gonna go to Turkey as well, and she is Turkish herself, so she really helped me a lot. I'm really thankful for that. Alhamdulillah that I had her. Her parents actually picked me up from the airport, but a lot of people texted in the group chat because there's a group chat, and they asked if other people would arrive around the same time as them so they could share a cab. When the time finally arrived to start the introduction week, I was so excited, and I honestly must admit that it was really well organized because we did really get to meet one another. And I remember the weather being so amazing, so it was sunny outside. We could just do all these activities outside, get to know people from all over the world. That was really, really cool because there were people from Pakistan, India, the Netherlands. There were like 30 people from the Netherlands, and there were also people from Canada, America, basically like I said, from all over the world. Germany, Belgium, Switzerland, also people from Sweden. So yeah, it was really, really diverse, and I honestly can't say that I made friends for life because some people were just so amazing, and I do think I'll still be in contact with them. So that was really, really cool to have the opportunity to meet so many new people. And that is all I have for you guys today. Please, if you have any further questions, please leave them down below. I will answer them. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos of me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.